If you're relying on sunlight alone to fix your testosterone levels, you're leaving huge gains on the table, both physically and mentally. Vitamin D isn't just about mood and immunity, it's a foundational hormone that drives testosterone production, libido, energy, and even your drive to win. What if I told you there are specific whole foods that don't just support vitamin D levels, but actually mimic the effects of sunlight in your body? We're talking wild-caught salmon, organic eggs, ancient fermented superfoods like kefir, and a few under-the-radar nutrient powerhouses you've probably never even heard of. And if you live somewhere grey and gloomy, work in an office, or just don't get outside enough, don't worry, I've got you covered with the most powerful sunlight alternatives and non-D3 supplements that can keep your testosterone, your mood, and your masculine energy fully dialed in 365 days a year. Let's get into it. Why vitamin D matters for testosterone. Before we get into the foods, let's make one thing absolutely clear. This isn't just about bones or immune function or preventing colds in the winter. Vitamin D is a steroid hormone, not a vitamin in the traditional sense. It acts more like a messenger in your body. And when it's low, your testosterone takes a nosedive. Here's why. Inside your testes, you've got Latex cells, the hormone factory is responsible for pumping out testosterone. But they don't just fire on their own, they need fuel, they need support, and that fuel, one of the most critical ingredients, is vitamin D. Without enough of it, those Latex cells underperform. Result? Low testosterone, low mood, weak recovery, libido crashes, fat starts clinging to your waistline. You feel softer mentally and physically. Now check this out. A 2011 double-blind placebo-controlled study published in Hormone and Metabolic Research took 165 healthy overweight men who were vitamin D deficient. One group was given 3,332 IU of vitamin D3 daily for 12 months. The other group got a placebo. That's it, no training, no fat burners, no testosterone injections. At the end of the study, the group supplemented with vitamin D saw a 25% increase in total testosterone levels on average, while the placebo group saw no significant change. Let that sink in. One single nutrient corrected properly led to a 25% testosterone increase in real human subjects. Now imagine what happens when you combine that with the same nutrient with bioavailable whole food sources, foods that don't just give you D3, but also support the entire hormone production system. Cholesterol, magnesium, vitamin K2, saturated fat. That's where the real power is. If you could pick just one whole food to boost your vitamin D naturally and supercharge your testosterone, it has to be wild-caught salmon. Not farmed, not the pale uniform pink you see in the supermarket. I'm talking wild Alaskan salmon. A 2007 analysis of multiple fish types measured vitamin D3 levels and found that a single 100-gram serving of wild-caught salmon can contain up to 988 IU of vitamin D3, give or take 500 units either way, depending on the fish and where it's caught. In contrast, farmed salmon often shows 75% less vitamin D, but there's more. This vitamin D comes inside a full-spectrum nutrient package. Omega-3s for anti-inflammatory effects, selenium for antioxidant defense, and astaxanthin, the red carotenoid that turns salmon its signature color. Astaxanthin isn't just for looks. Preclinical studies show it acts like a natural sunblock inside your body, reducing cellular and mitochondrial oxidative stress and even supporting reproductive tissue function. Imagine that. One meal that boosts your vitamin D, protects your testosterone producing cells, supports blood flow, and shields your mitochondria. When it comes to cooking, to retain delicate fats in wild salmon, grill or bake low and slow, keep skin on, cook at 160 to 180 degrees to avoid overcooking. Pastured egg yolks, the testosterone superfood. Eggs have had a bad rap for years, but real ones, pasture-raised, organic, free range, are absolute gold. One large egg yolk contains about 37 IU of vitamin D, but more importantly, it's bioavailable. That means your body absorbs and uses it better. And if you eat 3 to 4 high quality eggs daily, you're not just getting vitamin D, you're getting cholesterol, which is the raw building block for testosterone. Pair them with mushrooms, which we'll talk about next, and you're cooking up a hormonal powerhouse breakfast. Sun-exposed mushrooms, the plant exception. You might have heard that mushrooms only provide vitamin D2, not D3. And while that's true, here's what most people miss. Vitamin D2 from sun-exposed mushrooms can still raise your blood levels of 25-hydroxyvitamin D. That's the main form of vitamin D circulating in your body. The key is to go for UV-exposed mushrooms like chestnut or portobello. Just 100 grams of UV-exposed portobellos can give you up to 450 IU of vitamin D2. Combine that with egg yolks or fatty fish, and the synergy adds up. Even better, slice mushrooms and leave them in the sun for an hour before cooking. They keep producing vitamin D after being harvested. That's right, mushrooms are little solar panels. Fermented foods for absorption. Kefir, yogurt and kimchi. Here's where most people go wrong. They consume vitamin D but don't absorb it. You need a strong gut microbiome to properly metabolize vitamin D. That's why fermented foods like kefir, traditional yogurt, kimchi and sauerkraut matter. A study published in Frontiers in Microbiology found that probiotic strains like Lactobacillus rhamnosus improve vitamin D absorption significantly. Kefir made from grass-fed A2 milk is your best bet. Try 200ml with breakfast and again at night. Not only does it help vitamin D absorption, but it also provides K2, calcium and gut healing compounds. Magnesium is the unsung hero of vitamin D metabolism. Without enough magnesium, your body struggles to convert vitamin D into its active form, calcitriol. It's like having petrol but no engine. Pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, almonds and spinach are some of the best whole food sources. But for therapeutic dosages, especially if you're indoors or supplementing, consider adding magnesium glycinate. At night, 2 to 400 milligrams. Magnesium also lowers SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, which means more free testosterone. Cod liver, the original multivitamin. Cod liver is one of the only natural foods that provide both vitamin D and vitamin A in a balanced ratio. Unlike isolated D3 supplements, cod liver gives you the cofactors that improve absorption and reduce toxicity risk. 1 teaspoon gives you about 400 IU of vitamin D plus preformed vitamin A and omega-3s. Avoid cheap processed oils, go for cold-pressed wild-caught brands like Rosetta or Droppy. If you're plant-based, you won't get this combo anywhere else. For those who can't get sunlight, what to do? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. What if you can't get direct sunlight? Maybe you live in the UK like I do, or in a high-rise flat, or it's winter 9 months a year. Here's your non-vitamin D3 plan. First we have red light therapy. Red and near infrared light stimulate mitochondrial health, testosterone production and collagen synthesis. Get 10 to 15 minutes each morning. Use a full spectrum panel with at least 660 nanometer plus 850 nanometer wavelengths. UVB lamps like Mitolux lamp, they can actually stimulate natural vitamin D production in the skin, similar to the sun. Just don't overdo it. Vitamin K2, MK7, if you take cod liver oil or any D-rich food, K2 helps shuttle calcium into bones rather than soft tissue. Natto is the best food source, but you can also supplement 100 micrograms daily. Boron, found in raisins, dates and prunes. Boron helps activate vitamin D receptors and supports testosterone. Take 3 to 6 milligrams per day if supplementing. Zinc, magnesium, vitamin A, retinol. Without these, vitamin D won't work properly. Think oysters, beef liver, eggs and leafy greens. Contrast therapy. Hot-cold exposure like sauna and cold showers stimulate your immune system and mimic the natural stress of sunlight. Blue light in the morning, red light in the evening. Mimic the daily sun cycle to regulate circadian rhythm and melatonin. Build your daily plan from sunrise to sunset. Alright, let's break down how you can set up your day to naturally maximize your vitamin D and testosterone levels. No complicated hacks, just simple habits you can build into your routine. Morning, 7 to 9 AM, first thing, get some skin exposed to sunlight. If you can just get 10 to 15 minutes is enough to kickstart your vitamin D production and set your hormonal rhythm. If sunlight isn't an option, red light therapy is a solid alternative to help wake up your system. For breakfast, go for 3 pasture-raised eggs with some mushrooms plus a serving of kefir to support your gut health. This combo hits multiple vitamin D sources and helps your body absorb it better. Then get moving. It doesn't have to be intense. Think a light walk, some bodyweight exercises or a quick circuit. This gets your blood flowing and helps your body metabolize vitamin D effectively. Midday, time for a fatty fish feast. Wild caught salmon, mackerel or sardines are your best bets. They're loaded with vitamin D, omega-3s and all the nutrients your testosterone needs to thrive. Pair it with some fermented veggies like sauerkraut or kimchi for an extra gut health boost. Afternoon, keep your environment bright with natural light and, when possible, step outside for a few minutes to refresh your system. Swap screen time for natural light breaks to keep a circadian rhythm on track. Sip on something nourishing like bone broth or herbal tea. It's good for your gut and overall recovery. Evening, as the sun sets, start dimming your lights at least 2 hours before bed to signal your body to wind down. If you want, use red light therapy or take a hot bath to relax and prepare your nervous system for restful sleep. Consider taking cod liver oil, magnesium, zinc and vitamin K2 here if you supplement. They all support hormonal balance and recovery. Before bed, an optional magnesium glycinate dose can help you relax and improve sleep quality. Most importantly, avoid blue light from screens. This can mess with your melatonin and recovery. And aim to sleep in complete darkness to get the best hormone restoration. If you want to build a strong, high testosterone body, vitamin D is non-negotiable. But it's not just about popping a supplement, it's about eating ancestral whole foods, supporting your gut, syncing with natural light cycles, and filling the gaps when you need to with intelligence. If this video gave you value, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your favourite vitamin D food, and subscribe for more real science-backed testosterone content. This is Testosterone Growth and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.